Morning, Amy Adams. Howdy, folks. Big Ed Barnham here from Big Ed Barnham's Bubble Barn and Garden, Big Ed Barnham's Bossa Nova Bonanza, and Big Ed Barnham's Book Club, and Big Ed Barnham's Discount Discotheque. That's discotheque the French way with an H in it. Look it up. I think in French, discotheque has an H in it. Discotheque. I don't know. It doesn't. It's apropos of nothing. But thanks for joining for episode 849 of watching The Ham. You know, it's funny. I turned The Ham on earlier, and it was spinning then. Allow me to investigate. That's what they call problems with memory. Thanks for catching the spinning ham there, Amy. Yes. Barnham Book Club number 9. I'm going to cheat. Barnham Book Club number 9. Watchmen chapter 6. We've been talking about this thing for way too long, but we're gonna keep on going through it. Just gonna check a few. Just gonna run some of my run some diagnostics. Just got to check a couple things here. Make sure we're up and running. I didn't take my asthma medication this morning. That's right. Big Ed Barnham is an asthma sufferer because I have a weak constitution. You know, actually, my asthma is well managed. And it cost me a federal job once. Not really. I applied for a federal job, and I disclosed that I used albuterol from time to time, and the employment officer asked me, "So when was the last time you had an asthma attack?" And I said, "Well, I've never had an asthma attack because my asthma's managed, and it was, diagnosed without me actually having an asthma attack." And he was like, "Well, why are you on albuterol then?" And I said, "Well, occasionally I feel the symptoms of asthma, but I'm not actually having an all-out asthma attack." "So why are you on albuterol?" And I finally figured out, and I knew this, is that there are federal things. There are people trapped in federal jobs where all they have to do is check a box. And that box is probably, did a doctor prescribe the albuterol? Yes. I don't know. It was just one of those things where I finally committed to not giving an answer where that guy could check a box. And he finally said, "Well, we're going to need a note from your doctor about why you're on albuterol." And I said, "Great." And he said, "Well, as soon as you go to your doctor and get that note." And I was like, No. I'm not going to the doctor to get a note to explain why I'm on, it was like, I was on OxyContin. And the guy was like, "So, why are you on OxyContin?" "Well, I have severe pain management issues." It wasn't even like that. It was goddamn albuterol. And that's when I decided that working for the federal government would be that scenario copy and pasted in different contexts for 28, 30 years until you retire from the federal government. Anyway, that's a long ride for no payoff. Just like all of them. So, welcome to the book club. I think we're going to get into, I don't know what any of that is. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee. I think I hear my wife. I think I hear my wife inside the house. We better keep it down. I don't know if y'all can hear me when I'm talking like this, but I think either my wife's in the house or the Roomba thinks it's noon because of the daylight savings time adjustment. And, you know, if there's anything stupid on the planet, it's a Roomba. Because every time the Roomba runs, it goes under the coffee table, and then it can't figure out how to get out from under the coffee table. That's my opinion on Roomba. Roomba. Let's go over here on my secret screen. It's not secret. There it is. I just realized I'm not muted over here. But I can't hear myself over there. That's weird. That's weird. I gotta see if I'm muted on Facebook. I bet I'm not muted on Facebook either. Nope. I must be muted somewhere else. I don't know why I'm gonna talk like this. I'm just gonna talk like this all morning. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I might have to reboot a computer here. I might have to reboot a computer. But we're going to see. So what's going on in books today? Let me get over to my thing here. Gonna talk about a couple things. It's boop boop boop. It's the Morning News 2019 Tournament of Books, which I've talked about a couple times. The NCAA tournament hasn't started yet. At least I don't think it has. I don't pay much attention to sports, college or professional. But the Tournament of Books from the Morning News is sort of run with the idea that it's sort of like a Sweet 16 book tournament with books going up against one another. Here are this year's books. The contest started March 6th, which was what, Wednesday, something like that, and maybe Thursday, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. I don't know numbers, and I don't know the calendar. My tally light on this phone is I'm looking in the wrong place, and I'm also looking through I washed my hair last night, and I didn't put any product in it, so I got that Larry Wilcox thing going on. If you don't know who that is, it's fine. If you don't know who Larry Wilcox is, you're gonna do just fine. You're gonna advance through life just fine. So the Tournament of Books started this week. They've only had 2 rounds. Warlight went up against Call Me Zebra. Milkman went up against the Italian Teacher. Warlight won. I think Milkman won. They just haven't updated the bracket yet. Milkman, I don't know much about it. I know, obviously, it's a new novel. I believe it takes place in Northern Ireland around the time of the Troubles, and it's sort of the Ulysses of novels set in 1970, 1960s during the Troubles. It's, I don't know. From what I've heard, it's dense, disconnected. I'm not trying to be alliterative there, but just sort of, it jumps around like Ulysses or any other type of metafiction. Maybe not metafiction, postmodern. Anyway, that's all I know. Anyway, it won. And if you're interested in the Morning News Tournament of Books, each write-up of these novels gets a pretty thorough write-up. You know, it's and then they announce the winner, and then the folks who are running the tournament, Kevin Guilfoyle and John Warner, critique the criticism. Well, it's not really critique. It's like it's like for this one, Judge Chelsea Liu is putting these books head to head, discussing their pros and cons and declaring a winner. And then it's like they cut back to the studio, you know, with like Terry Bradshaw and James Brown, not the king of soul. He's not whatever James Brown was king of. Not that one, the other one, the sports guy. That's what Kevin Guilfoyle and John Warner are like, providing more analysis on the book-to-book, head-to-head analysis. Anyway, Milkman came out on top of the Italian Milkman came out on top of the Italian teacher. I didn't think I would say that sentence today. And Warlight came out on top of Call Me Zebra. I have read Warlight. It's good to go. So that tournament's going on. So there was something else I was going to talk about before we jump into anything. Hi, Adjective Beaver. How's it going? Did you join in time to hear me talk about the Milkman coming out on top over the Italian teacher? If not, your life is probably enriched for the better. Time for coffee from someone that's certainly not a sponsor of the stream, but certainly provides delicious drip coffee, espresso shots. They make a great cortado, and if you want a 16-ounce quad latte, whoo-wee, that is the way to go. But not a sponsor. No, sir. No, ma'am. Got to get it in here. Certainly not a sponsor either. Dak Celebrity Canned Ham. It is the finest canned ham Denmark has to offer, and I'm not compensated in any way to say that, although I have said that in the past. It was largely due to some confusing paperwork and Scotty Maynard, Doc Maynard's son. He was my business manager for a while. He came in and said the folks at Atalanta Corporation, not Atlanta, Atalanta, totally never offered to be a stream sponsor. And it just goes to show that drink whiskey instead of tequila. Because every time Scotty Maynard drinks tequila, he comes into work the next day and he's got there'll be like a little vomit on like his shoulder, and it's like it's dried vomit, and it's like he scraped it off, so he knows it's there. But I don't know where he's partying, where he can't go home. I mean, Churchill County's not that big, so he's partying somewhere, drinking a bunch of tequila, then he gets sick, and some of it gets on his shoulder, and it's there, and he's wearing that shirt long enough for the vomit to dry on his shoulder, and then he flicks it off, and then there's just still like some powdery vomit that's like in the fabric. And I don't know why he can't go home and get a clean shirt. I mean, that's what I do when I don't know. These young people vomiting on their shoulders and letting it dry. Apropos of nothing. When was the last time you vomited on your shoulder? It's actually kind of hard. Blah, when you think about it. I mean, you have to be contorted in some way to get vomit on your shoulder. This morning's scientific experiment: vomiting on your shoulder. You know, they say you can't lick your own elbow. You can lick other parts of your body just fine. I don't know where that's going. Watchmen, Chapter 6. Can we get through a chapter without Alan Moore taking a dump on women? Can we get through a chapter of Watchmen without Alan Moore passing his judgment on a profession that's supposed to be helping people? The answer to these questions is no. We're not going to get through it without that stuff. Usually when I vomit, I try to get it all out of me and none on me. You know, there's the Seinfeld episodes where Jerry talks about not having vomited in like years. I think his record's like 19 years. I don't vomit very often. But when I do, it sounds like I don't always vomit. But when I do, I get the pew in the... I was trying to figure out a way to say bucket in a cool way. But about a year and a half ago, I felt ill all day, and my wife and I went to, it wasn't a party, it was just like a little gathering. And I'm sitting there and I'm like sweating and I'm shaking. I'm like, something's wrong. I actually feel like I'm going to vomit talking about it. I'm kidding. Only a little. And then I just walked into the bathroom and it was like three volleys. All right into the bowl. And when I vomit, I sound like a bear. And I also injure myself. I don't know how there are people who vomit all the time. You know, they get nauseous and they just vomit. There are people who are vomiters. And I don't know how they do it, because when I vomit, I usually end up with a small back injury, abdominal injury. Somehow, whatever muscles are like, not the side of the neck, not the back of the neck, but sort of like right here. Whatever muscles those are. Those get cramped and pulled. It's like, I'd rather have somebody just kick the shit out of me than vomit. Because when I vomit, I still feel like somebody kicked the shit out of me. Vomit Club. Barnham Vomit Club. Yep, that's what we've become. Can you tell I don't want to talk about Watchmen Chapter 6? It's fine. I want to talk about it because it's sort of, it kind of just underscores. Let me make sure our non-sponsored coffee is in display there. Watchmen Chapter 6, it's sort of, it's all about Rorschach. Not to be confused with Horseshack. Rorschach, I'm sorry. Eddie Kovacs. Wait, is that his name? Eddie or Ernie? Wait, Ernie Kovacs was the entertainer. Eddie, we'll find out. So in the previous chapter, Rorschach gets set up and he gets apprehended by the police. He's now in. Actually, I don't know if he's just in jail, county lockup. I don't quite know where he is. I don't think there's been a trial yet. Maybe there has. Maybe that much time has passed. I don't think so. But Eddie Kovacs. Kovacs. I'll just call him Kovacs because I can't remember his first name. And I'm not going to scroll down yet. So Dr. Malcolm Long is a psychiatrist, state psychiatrist here in our correctional facility. And, he's a psychiatrist. He's here to help Rorschach / Kovacs. He's here to evaluate him. He's here to, ostensibly help this person by, trying to arrive at some reason why he is the way he is. Can he be helped? All this kind of stuff. But, Alan Moore, psychiatry's bad. Not in the Scientology kind of, not nearly as bad as Scientologists think psychiatry is, but I think Alan Moore is not a fan of psychiatry or psychiatrists. Certainly not psychoanalysis. Because, clearly Dr. Malcolm Long isn't here to help Kovacs. He's here to... This is the case that could make my reputation. Because, that's what you do. Let me see. The Abyss gazes also... I'm wondering if the Abyss is Rorschach or something else. Somebody else just joined, but I can't see who. But thanks for joining. Maybe I can tell over here. So what? The Abyss gazes also. I don't know if that's a line from something. Oh, I think it's Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. Which a lot of jerk-offs like to quote. So yeah, inkblot tests. Here we're getting the backstory of Rorschach / Kovacs. We also get the, Dr. Malcolm Long's wife is too needy. She needs too much sex. She's getting in the way of the dog. You know, it's like Alan Moore, another woman getting in the way of a man doing his work. Thanks, Alan. We get the picture. And then, yeah. Yep. In prison. Everybody's out to get Rorschach. You know, Rorschach, you know, he sees life in black and white. You know, there's no area of gray anywhere. So it's like he's the enemy of the cops and he's the enemy of the criminals. So in prison, he's not going to get any kind of break. Everybody's out to get him. But he's really just a child inside. You know, it's sort of like I don't know. Mom's a hooker. He's a puny kid. He can't deal with bullies until he's backed into a corner, and then he bites them and, I don't know, rips their faces off. Not when he's a kid, but there's all kinds of stuff that he's got going on. Let's see, what is Malcolm Long's wife's name? Walter Kovacs is, I had it wrong both ways. Eddie or Ernie. It's Walter Kovacs. Not to be confused with Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski. Those are two very different Walters. So, you know, his wife lures him away from his work to go to bed one night. But that's not enough. In Alan Moore's world, she's going to come back the next night. And he's going to have to stand up, be a man, and say, honey, work's coming first. And that damages the relationship. Because that woman needs too much. That's Alan Moore thinking. That's not me. That's just Alan Moore. If you just joined us, it's not me saying that. It's Alan Moore. You know, for a guy who's like an anarchist feminist, he sure does like taking a dump on women. I've said it before. Walter Kovacs lives in black and white. He chops dogs up. Even though the dogs aren't the ones who kidnapped the girl and butchered her. They're just being dogs. I'm just waiting for something to come into chat to call me out on something. I don't know. But Walter, he'll chop up the dogs because that's the kind of guy he is. But he'll give the criminal who actually abducted the girl, kidnapped the girl, and chopped her up, he's just going to chain him to the radiator and give him a way out. But the dogs, they got to go. They're animals. Animals! I don't know. Walter Kovacs, you're full of shit. Your code is all horse shit. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Walter Kovacs. And, you know, we get the famous line that was recalled recently. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. And that's really get a little bit of history of the Watchmen in terms of who quit, who retired. And you know, when you find yourself landing on the same page as the comedian with your worldview, well, you should probably just stay at home, sit in your recliner, and watch Phil Donahue. Thanks, What's the Hops, for the host. What's the Hops for the host? We're just we're moving very quickly through this. Yes. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, the end of this is the what I was just blabbing about. you know, he's going to chop up the dogs, but he's going to give the actual criminal a way out by, you know, cutting his hand off to get out of the thing. Anyway, it's just... Rorschach. Yeah, this chapter was, I think, for me, a speed read. Oh yes, Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche. Battle not with monsters, yes, lest ye become a monster. Sounds sensible. And if you gaze into the abyss gazes also into you. Yeah. You know. I'm sure that's where the movie Saw got its premise. Actually, there's a scene in Mad Max where Max Rockatowski gives the guy that looks like Adam Ant the option of, I think it's his ankle that he chains him to the car that's about to blow up. But you know. And then we go into what might be the least important text stuff at the end of a chapter that we might get, because it's all really just institutional memos and paperwork describing the character of Walter Kovacs. And it's stuff that we already know. It's told to us in a couple of different ways, but I think we just kind of know this stuff. And I think it's not terribly important material, and I think it's Alan Moore trying to justify it in some way, trying to mansplain the character to us. I don't know. I wish I could just get drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I can. I have. But I think the last time I was drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning, I was probably 10 years younger. Getting drunk in the morning, you know, if it's I don't know. If I'm going to your funeral and you were a very good friend of mine, I might get a little drunk in the morning before the funeral. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's an option. We can all get drunk anytime we want to. We can all get drunk anytime we want to, unless you are a minor. And if you're a minor, I don't think there's any minors watching my stream. It's probably a good thing. Walter Joseph Kovacs. Oh, I know. One of the things I was going to talk about. Wait, you got drunk at 15? You said you were 10 years younger. I see what you did there. Actually, I think the first time I got drunk, I was probably 17. You know, I had probably drank before that, but I think it was 17. I was a senior in high school before I got drunk. I got drunk right after school, went home, took a nap, and the next thing I know, a friend of mine is waking me up, wanting to know if I want to go see Amy Grant in concert at Riverfront Coliseum. I shit you not. This would have been 1985, I think. Yes. I did not go see Amy Grant. You know, I think my life is probably okay for not having seen Amy Grant. I have no idea where any of this is going. One of the things that I did want to talk about was in Rorschach's backstory. He mentions the Kitty Genovese or Kitty Genovese incident, which is the incident in New York. I'll look up the date. It's either 30s or 40s. Maybe it's 50s. I can't remember. It's the story goes there's the Kitty Genovese is brutally attacked in New York. I believe she's raped. She eventually dies, and while she's yelling out for help, countless people witness this. Nobody calls the police because nobody wants to get involved, and or they think, well, surely someone else is calling the police. It's where the whole bystander effect was. I don't know if it was termed there, but it gained popularity from that incident, and people talk about this incident still today. And it turns out it was the police department wanting to cover up the fact that people did call because they heard this thing going on and it was an attack. People did call the police, at least 2, possibly more. The police didn't respond. One person actually left their apartment. An older woman went out to help Kitty Genovese. The attack had ended. She did not prevent the attack, obviously, but that people were there. People were there trying to help her. It wasn't just a cold New York turning its unconcerned shoulder on someone, and it's referenced in the Kitty Genovese Wikipedia article. It's also the New York Times reported on the story back in the day. And then if you go to the archive of the New York Times, you'll see where they've appended notes talking about the veracity. Is that the word I want? The accuracy of the reporting on that. Because the original story was quashed because the editor didn't want the police to look bad. And it sort of turns out that the bystanders, if you will, were they were trying to help out, and the police were not very responsive. Anyway, that incident is one of the reasons why Rorschach becomes who he is. You know, if your typical person isn't going to reach out and help people, I will, and then I'll hold everybody in judgment. That's Rorschach. Yeah. Anyway. And then let's see. This episode, we do see, he talks about Night Owl being a good partner in crime fighting, although, Night Owl's soft because he quits, he gives it up. But we don't get much insight into the rest of the Watchmen. They're all around in this brief scene. We see a reference to the Keene Act being passed. Vigilantes illegal. But yeah, this episode is all about Rorschach, his backstory, and how he became who he was. And I don't know what Alan Moore really wants us to think, because he's not, Walter Kovacs is not a reasonable person, not a healthy person, and he, like doing damage left and right. Good people, he's going after the bad guys, but it comes at a cost. He's not paying it. Other people will. I think that might be mentioned somewhere. From the desk of Dr. Malcolm Long. My Dreams by Walter J. Kovacs, age 13. Some sort of two-faced beast with one normal breast and another malformed breast. I guess it's supposed to be two people having sex, but it's also a two-faced beast kind of a thing. Walter just needs to get laid. Walter needs a massage, a facial. He needs to have like a mimosa or a Bellini. Actually, Walter Kovacs needs a Bellini and a spinach omelet with a little cottage cheese and pineapple. It's also about the destruction by obsessiveness of the psychoanalyst. He goes from being cheerful and happy to obsessed and not caring. I get that totally. And I think we can add psychiatrists to the list of people. I don't know if you were here for this when I said earlier. I think we can add psychiatrists to the list of people that Alan Moore just, I don't think, has any respect for. The photo is that file. The photo, it's him telling a dream of his. Yes. Yeah, it's right up here. And by the time I got through, I think the file and then the summary of his case history, I think I didn't read the dream part. I'm sure Alan Moore doesn't care about many people. You know, and the weird thing is, I have a feeling Alan Moore is, an asshole. But in some way, he's cultivated this image that he's, you know, despite being an anarchist, he sort of has a wide, open view of the world, and he's tolerant of and accepting of all kinds of things. But I think he's very judgmental. Pretty judgy guy for being a level-headed, I'm going to accept the world as it is. Well, you accept the bad things, but I don't know. So, chapter 6, that's it. I actually have no idea what's coming up. I mean, I do, but I don't know what. I'm just going to take a little sneak peek here. Chapter 7. Oh, I think chapter 7 is where Lori and Dan decide to get the band back together. A little bit. So that's that. A short stream, I think. Because I don't have much else to say about this particular chapter of Watchmen. I'm just looking around. I'm looking around. I'm going to kill that. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over like there's a host, like there's another show right over here. I'm just going to turn it over to you guys. What do you guys want to talk about? I think What's the Hops? You're getting ready to stream your first stream back in the studio. I think you've been on the road for the last few. If you don't know What's the Hops, it's two very nice people. I don't know why I almost went to a Borat there. Two very nice, and then I did go there. I'm gonna drop a link here because What's the Hops? They taste beers and drink beers. You know, when does tasting beer become drinking beer? After about 5 minutes. I don't know why I'm going to do that. Let's see. Ooh. Too many things there. Anyway, they do a stream most Sundays. I'm logged into a different account here. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to try something here. It sounded a little more like Father Guido Sarducci. Okay. I did feel it was interesting how the psychoanalyst went from confident that it was an open and shut case and slowly realizes there's so much more below the surface. I was very interested in focusing on that for this chapter. The interesting thing is his wife keeps getting in the way, though, which is, just women being needy again. Alan Moore. A woman-owned, woman-head brewed brewery. So which brewery is that? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see. Here. That's the only link I'm going to drop because apparently I don't know how to work a computer. Sealess Brewery, that's the name of it. I'm going to go look at it. I'm not going to spoil it by showing anything on the stream. On this stream. But I think what's the hops? What we'll do is I'll just kick it over to you and host you. Because I always forget to do that at the end of my stream. Like 5 minutes after I quit streaming, I was like, oh, I should go host somebody. I'm going to go see what kind of beers they offer, but I'm not going to say anything because folks should go to your stream and do that. I just want to see what kind of beers they make. Core beers, seasonal beers. I should have rebooted this computer because it is very slow. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. A little bit of stuff coming up Thursday night. Cole and I will be. Oh dear, I see a beer there that. Oh dear, I see two beers there that I would like to try. Let's kick that up to 3. There's at least 3 beers there I would like to try. So yeah, Cole and I will be here Thursday. I think we are here every Thursday coming up through our June 8 5-year anniversary stream. That's a 12-hour stream. We've never done that. I think we're going to pair up. I think we might try and raise some money for a small charity. I have not researched one that I would think about doing that with. But that is something But I think. Hi, Randy Knickers. What did you miss? Alan Moore crapping on psychiatrists. Alan Moore still crapping on women. Alan Moore just being a jerk. But there's Alan Moore the person, Alan Moore the artist, and I don't know. For some reason, Leaving Neverland just came to mind when I was thinking of the person and the artist and how people do terrible things. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So if Cole and I stream every Thursday between now and the June 8th thing, we will be celebrating 125 live streams and web episodes on that June 8th stream. And I think we're going to do... we might break this up a little bit. I've never tried the watch party functionality on Facebook. I think we might try and do that. I don't know how that would work as a single stream out to restream going out to Facebook and Mixer. I don't think I can do that. I'll test that. but I was thinking of doing a watch. Yeah, on Facebook it's literally called Watch Party. Watching some of those with folks, some of the original web episodes that we did. Some of the I'm trying to figure out because a full season of Big Ed Barnum's One of a Kind Find of a Week is only about 49 minutes. I think is the longest one. So on a 12-hour stream, we could ostensibly watch all of them. I've purposefully not watched in a long time some of those original episodes. I'm kind of keen to watch them again. And each one, a long one, is 3.5 minutes. So we could watch one, and then Cole and I could deconstruct it for you and tell you all the secrets. We can tell you how drunk we were when we shot one. We can tell you which time of day it was shot. You can probably tell. A lot of those were shot in a single day and then parsed out. And that's like Match Game. You know, Match Game, the game show, you know, they shoot 5 episodes in a day. They shoot 2 episodes. I can't remember if in the morning they shoot 2 or 3 episodes and then they break for lunch. I think that's it. And then people come out, you know, they have lunch, have a few drinks, and then they come back and shoot the last 2 episodes of the day. And they're all just kind of lit up. And you can watch Match Game, and you can kind of tell what time of day each one was shot. Because if everybody looks a little agitated and they're not being as funny, that was probably the first episode of the day. The second and third episodes of the day, they loosen up a little bit. And then if it's the 4th or 5th episode of the day, they're just drunk. Hey, Chris Lutzock. Unlike Moore, I bet less than 1% of my life has consisted in me being the partner in a romantic relationship not willing to participate in sex more frequently. I hear you. But Chris, you're obviously not a psychiatrist. And psychiatrists are doing that all the time. Anyway. The toy one was the best. Yes, the toy one. Actually, so the toy one, I think you're talking about, Randy, was a live stream that we did with Joe Frice and Stevenson. That one has what I think is the funniest thing that has ever happened on our live stream. At least it's the funniest thing that I could not stop laughing. Joe Frice asks us a question, and I just can't stop laughing. I'm laughing at it now. Yes. So we'll be doing that on the June 8th stream. We're also... I'm replacing a switch over there, and we will actually be coming to you live from Big Ed Barnum's backyard on part of the June 8 live stream. June 8, here where we are, it will be warm. It might be hot. Certainly not Austin or Arizona hot, as some of you folks can speak the truth of. But usually in the summertime, June to August into September, whatever the ambient temperature outside is, it's usually about 15 degrees warmer in here. And just so you know, we have shot stuff in this shed, garage. We've shot in here. This is literally a 100-degree span in temperature. We have shot in here when it was 6 degrees, and we have shot in here when it was 106 degrees. And it's not. Neither one's fun. Anyway, so we'll be doing that. I think I'm trying to figure out how I can grill food and still look at chat and, you know, be my charming, engaging self. Suddenly I have a bunch of snot in my nose. Can you tell I have a I don't know. I can't do that snot voice, but I suddenly have a bunch of snot in my nose. So here's the problem, and I know the answer that you're all going to say. How can I grill food and look at chat and be engaging on the camera all at the same time? And I know the answer is just let Cole do the talking. I think I might have to do that. I think we're also going to have, on the June 8th stream, a livestock sale. Because a long time ago... Here, let me do this. It's suddenly just become the chat. The chat stream. Just rapping with Big Ed. A good friend of the show made, well, about 15 stick horses. Let me get one out of the fridge. Oh, this guy looks nice. Let's see if I can... Look at this guy. He looked kind of like a donkey, though. Because his ears are down a little bit. Here, let me unlock the focus. And the exposure. And the white balance. Ooh, suddenly things are blown out. Do-do-do. Anyway. Yep. I don't know why it... Ooh, it blows out. Let me lock that. I know. This is me doing things that I shouldn't do. Lock that as well. Now we'll zoom in. See if he keeps his grayish color. Anyway. Look at it. His ear's blue inside. Anyway. We'll be GoPro camera time. You should wear a Hawaiian shirt. You know, Randy, I appreciate the sentiment of suggesting that I wear a Hawaiian shirt, but in the state of Oregon, guys of a certain size and or weight are legally expressly forbidden from wearing Hawaiian shirts. It's called the Hawaiian Fat Guy Shirt Law of 1985. I'm simply too fat to wear a Hawaiian shirt. I mean, I could wear one inside my home, but to appear on camera or in public with a Hawaiian shirt, I'm just too fat to wear a Hawaiian shirt. I literally cannot get away with it. GoPro camera time. So Amy, we used to use GoPros for recording stuff on stage, but the problem with GoPros is it's hard to get them to talk to stuff. There was a whole thing I was gonna say, but we use iPhones. That's an iPhone. If I had camera 2 set up, that would be an iPhone. But we're going to switch out our switches, and we will have... basically, I'm going to pawn shops and buying unlocked iPhone SEs and whatnot. I'm trying to buy stuff that at least has a 4K camera, just in case I want to shoot something in 4K. But basically, just going around buying a bunch of cheap iPhones that people have probably not stolen, but I don't know. They're unlocked. They seem to be untethered to anything. Wear a muumuu. Randy Knickers, you're banned. I'm banning you. I will not wear a muumuu. If you want to see what I might look like in a muumuu, just go research videos of me appearing as a Roman insult comic, and you'll just see how unflattering some garments would be on me. Let's see. You can film Cole, and Cole can film you. Doing what, Amy? What are you talking about? You mean like just like normal stuff? Amy? What are you asking for, Amy? Hang on, I gotta get focus. This is why I should not be playing with white balance and stuff. My jacket looks super dark, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, but it's okay because anyway, we have like 15 of these things. They're not in the best shape now. I mean, they're in great shape because they were just built about a year ago. But they've sat in the refrigerator, so some of their ears are not nearly as perky, and their manes need to be combed out. But we're going to have a livestock show, and I think we might be selling some of these guys, hopefully. But they're stick horses, which were going to appear in episode 3 of Summer America Barnum's Book Club for Ladies. But when I wrote that episode, I didn't realize that, you don't want to schedule 12 comedians to show up at a park at 5 in the morning so that you can scam a location without a permit, because none of them are going to show up on time. I mean, I realized that was going to be a mistake, so I rewrote the episode so that you don't really see these guys. Actually, let's just pull that up. Why do I have these stick horses? This will be the last thing we do today, I think. Maybe. And this may not play. And I'm not wired for sound yet on it. This may be a really bad idea. But I'm going to do it anyway. Book Club for Ladies. I'll share the screen in a moment, because I want to make sure. Gonna go full screen. Gonna kick it over here. All right. I will adjust this volume on the fly. That should not be there. All right. Here we go. It's like sad and maudlin. It's like, we might win that Churchill County News Award. So I just hope they don't play the opening credits because they're a little too bouncy and everything, but it'd be perfect.
Actually, we're rolling. We're live.
Oh, we're rolling? Oh, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Ed Barnum here for Churchill County Channel 3 Action Sports, reporting to you live from Peninsula Park Rose Garden, where this morning was to be the inaugural running of the Summer America Barnum Stick Horse Derby. Race officials have canceled the race after a early morning warm-up exercise with some of the stick horses resulted in a stampede. At least one of the horses, Frou-Frou or Frou-Frou, depending on where you're from, has been destroyed, injured severely on the track. Some other horses have not been released from the stick horse medical facility yet. As you can see, it was going to be a beautiful day of racing here at Peninsula Park Rose Garden. The fountains going full blast. Some spectators have rolled in. They've not been informed of the cancellation, or they're here simply to pay their respects. It's a sad day here. The race has been canceled. Summer America Barnum's Book Club for Ladies, Summer America Barnum and the members of the club were here briefly. They left without comment. That's really all the news that we have to report here from this emerging story. I'm just checking my notes here that I made. Yeah, that's really all there is. Just, yeah, all right. Well, I'm going to send it back Big Ed Barnham, Churchill County, Channel 3, Action Sports. Do those people leave the shot? Because that was like, I mean, them paying their respects and being mournful, that would have been Peabody. Totally worth it, right? Just watch. I haven't seen that in a while. I hope the sound was okay on that, because I was just running it through a speaker, not through a soundboard or anything. We'll be doing more of that. Actually, do you want to see another? You want to see another? I'll show you one more. Let's see. I'm going to show you one more from that web series. And then we'll get off here because I think What's the Hops is about ready to go live. Let me... No, not that one. I want to show... I believe it's episode 6. Let me do this the right way. Oh, come on. Oh, that's why. It's in a different tab. All right, let me get this one up here. Close that one. Close that one. Just one second. Suddenly, I think just showing this one, that last one, and then this one makes me definitely kind of want to do a watch party with all of these. Because we have like 52 of these produced episodes, not just to the book, it's all kinds of stuff. So I think we're going to do this one. This is a... All right, we're just going to go into this.
With a weary soul, wanna settle down, but I've grown too cold. All we got is a match instead of bone. Maybe they will carry us somewhere warm, but for now, just stay home. All I've got is all I need, except when it comes to company. All we got is a match instead of bone.
Hey folks, Dale County, Calisota here from Calisota Farms, coming to you with another episode of Summer America Barnum's Book Club for Ladies. Summer, she's not here, and the other ladies, I don't know where they are either. Summer's off recording a fiction podcast. So, for this episode, it's just me and the crew. That's them fellas there. And, as I already told you before, I am not a lady. And this is a book club for ladies. My wife was supposed to be coming, and she has missed every episode. I've been sitting in for her, and despite that, she has decided to quit the book club, but insists that I keep coming back. I assume it's because she enjoys all the time alone. Me being gone a couple times, several times a week, I believe she has gotten to become used to it and even enjoy it. Well, you folks want to see a painting that I did? I did a painting recently. Made myself an oil painting from my heart, and it's inspired by the book Anna Karenina Leo Tolstoy's book collection. And now, if you take a look here, down here in the corner, you got Anna, and that's her lover right there. And she's had a couple, but, that old lover that she had there in the book. And they're sitting there at the table, and they got some drinks, and the circle represents a complete love affair. Now, when you're in a relationship, you think that's just the whole world, don't you? But there's more outside of the world, and the rest of it represents the collective unconscious in Russian society at the time of the novel. You got your patriarch and your matriarch, and then this is here another kind of not exactly a patriarchal figure. It's kind of like the archetype of the beta male who's trying to usurp and become the alpha male there in the situation. And they're all playing jazz music. And jazz music is it's always about having threesomes, and it's about sex. And now there's also a love triangle. Now, the difference between a love triangle and a threesome is that in a love triangle, someone doesn't know that it's a threesome, and it only happens like a couple people at a time.
All we got is a mansion set above.
Oh crap! I cut it off. There's a little stinger at the end there, but we'll see more of that. Christian Ricketts, who I think is in Austin at the moment. All right. Actually, that painting is still behind me. You know, because we don't want to get rid of any props, because you never know when you might need them. Also, if you want to buy this, $750. It's yours. All right, folks. I'm got other videos going there. Let me get back over here. So if you're on Mixer, I'm going to host What's the Hops here in a few seconds. If you're on Facebook, I will be seeing you Thursday. I'll be seeing all of you Thursday. Cole will be here. What's coming up on a future Cole and Big Ed Thursday night? I don't know when it ships, but I bought a subscription box crate of different types of ramen noodles, instant noodles, that aren't available in the States. So we're going to have some cup of noodle. We'll be reviewing those soon. I have a feeling that's probably going to have to wait probably 3 weeks. That's not shipped yet. It may not ship for another 2 weeks or so. I lost my place here. All right, folks, that's Barnham Book Club. I apologize that it wasn't action-packed full of literary criticism, commentary, or I'm sorry that it wasn't free of Alan Moore's spitefulness towards his fellow man. I believe Alan Moore has become the monster. I'm Big Ed Barnham. I thank you very much.